about how it is that artistic fortunes have fallen, because although the industries themselves are quite profitable, the share of the wealth generated by creative labor has been in steady decline for some decades. And this is despite the fact that year after year, decade after decade, we have created more and more expansive copyright rights for creators. That dovetails with my own work, which is really about how copyright has a lot of external costs, that enforcing broader and broader copyright, it hurts creators. It hurts our ability to remix the things around us, which honestly, there is no creator who makes without remixing. But it also hurts the general public, because enforcement for copyright infringement, the more vigorous it gets, the simpler it gets, the more hurdles we clear to it, the easier it is to remove speech from the internet. You just point at it and say, that's a copyright infringement. And the more of a hair trigger the enforcement mechanism has, the easier it is to get that material removed. So Chokepoint Capitalism is a book that advances the theory that copyright doesn't and can't fix the reason that creators are getting paid less. And that the reason that creators are getting paid less is that the intermediaries, tech companies and entertainment companies, who they have to pass through, the choke points to reach their audience and get paid for their work, that those intermediaries are increasingly concentrated. And that while they may fight with each other sectorally about who should get the lion's share of the money, maybe the entertainment companies think that they should be getting more money from YouTube, and maybe YouTube thinks it should be keeping more of the money. They both agree that the creator should be getting as little money as possible.
Doesn't get anything. Yeah.
Yeah. And when we give creators more copyright, it's like if you had a bullied kid and every day their lunch money was taken from them by bullies at the schoolyard gates. And so you just doubled how much lunch money you were giving them. We can all understand intuitively that just gives more money to the bullies. In fact, if you gave the bullies enough money, they'd eventually be able to bribe the principal to look the other way and really expand their operations and sort of formalize them, which is more or less what's happened with copyright.
That's what happened. Yeah.
Right. And so we advance about 20 different remedies that can be undertaken by individual artists, artist organizations, audiences, local, state, and federal governments, regulators, and startups and technologists that would actually unrig those markets. It would actually, rather than giving creators something to feel indignant about, oh, another person has violated my copyright and I can't put groceries on my dining room table, we just focus on giving them ways to put groceries on the dining room table. We just ignore the indignation part. You're never going to put braces on your kids' teeth with indignation, but you will be able to feed them and clothe them and send them to college and enjoy a good life if we can figure out how to pry more of the revenue generated by your work away from the intermediaries that sit between you and your audience.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's gotten to the point lately where there's just a nameless, faceless nobody when you have your own stuff taken down. Which I've had problems with SoundCloud and YouTube recently. SoundCloud especially, there's nobody there, and it's your own record, put out. And I work with White Hive Records, and White Hive Records put up an album that they produced themselves with some larger names on it, some jazz greats on it, and the jazz great company, we think, came after them. We don't know, because all we knew is the stuff is taken down. There's nobody to talk to, and you're shit out of luck. And it's happening again, and there's no recourse that I can see. Same with YouTube. There's no fair use exception. At the AGI 21 conference last year, we had a copyright strike from an excerpt from a BBC news show that was used in a presentation, which was a clear fair use, but there's no fair use at YouTube. There's
no recourse. You're really digging into the important thing here, because in addition to this not serving artists, here you are, working artists, uploading music to SoundCloud and not able to reach your audience with it. It also interferes with people who have nothing to do with the creative industries, right? So your learned conference just disappears from the web. I gave a keynote speech at Hope, Hackers on Planet Earth, is the big 2600 magazine conference. And all, I guess, 11 hours of their live stream went offline because something in it, no one knows what, triggered a copy strike. And, it's not just AGI hackers and Hackers on Planet Earth who find this difficult to navigate. There was a Columbia Law University panel on copyright, fair use, and automated takedown mechanisms, where they showed a bunch of videos of the kinds of things that these
Yeah.
that shouldn't be
Oh,
blocked,
and it got
and they were
taken
very
down.
careful about it. And they got taken, and they couldn't get it put
Yeah.
back up. The way that they got it put back up was by making a public stink, but not by
Yeah.
following the putback procedure. The putback procedure is
Doesn't work.
it's like
Yeah.
the crossing button, the pedestrian crossing button. It's just there to make you feel good. You can press it all you
Yeah.
like. The
Yeah.
system will do its thing if it wants to, but the button's not connected to anything. It's like when you're driving the car, and then your kid wants to drive the car, so you give them one of those Fisher Price steering wheels that clips onto the car seat, and they think they're driving the car too, and it's all it is a plastic toy.